Welcome to today's video where we're going to talk about what it's like to own a Mercedes S65 AMG. With my good friend John here, and
Hello.
you're on a buying spree right now.
I've been on a lot of your videos lately. It feels
Yeah,
like.
well, you bought like 5 new cars in the last fiscal quarter. That's a little bit of exaggeration, but
Let me see.
3 TRX,
Yeah,
765 LT,
true.
and now an S65 AMG.
It's actually 4.
4?
Because there's Natalie's GLA too.
GLA 45.
Yeah, I
So
forgot about that.
today's video is about
You're
the
off by one.
S65. Off by 1. I'm not good at math.
Yeah.
What are your first impressions? What led you to buy an S65 AMG?
Really simple. 1 letter and 2 numbers. V12.
I cannot fault you for that.
Right? Because these things are going the way of the dodo. Right? They're no more. I don't see anybody, designing a clean sheet V12 from scratch. And I honestly, I figured these things are going to be pretty collectible, worth something one day. And
Okay.
I've never had a V12 before, and holy depreciation, this thing. Yeah.
That's going to be like essentially the entire
Yeah.
intro for my review of this is depreciation.
Yeah. So this car had a sticker price of just about $250,000. That's a $250,000 car
Yes.
in 2016.
Yes.
So whoever owned it has only driven. When I got to me, it was only about 22,000 miles and change.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, less than that. Sorry, 21,000 miles and change. And guess how much I picked it up for?
So what did you end up getting this
I got this 87,000, and it was shipped here from Utah.
all included?
Yeah.
So from 250 to 87 grand and 20,000 miles.
Right.
Woo!
Yeah, that's a third. It lost about a third of the value.
Yes.
Or sorry, 2/3 of the value.
2/3 of the
I
value,
paid that
yes.
for 1/3 of the value.
Yeah. So that was definitely a big driving part, the fact that it was such a good deal relative to MSRP.
Right.
I think it's a good balance of, it looks absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorite styles and everything. You know, for a while, I've wanted an S-Class Coupe.
Yeah.
But it's not too over the top. If you had the Bentley Continental GT or
Right.
Rolls Royce, it would attract a lot more attention. This commands presence, but not screaming over the top, I think.
Yeah. And I was talking to someone about it. I said, you would think that this might be analogous to the M8, but it's not.
No.
It's really analogous to the Bentley and the Rolls Royce.
Correct.
The M8 does not compete with this car.
No, not even close. I would not put those in the same category, because like an M8 and an M5 are related,
Right.
so it's like a 5 Series-ish platform thing. Whereas this S-Class goes against a 7 Series. You're up a tier.
Yeah.
You're up an echelon in prestige and comfort. And holy cow, we should talk. Like, what do you love about this the most? Like, where do you start? Like, it has everything.
Yeah, it really has everything. It has this crazy night. Well, I'll tell you about the night vision. The night vision was really crazy. It was pitch dark in our neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And I decided to just fire up the night vision, and you could see a couple of my neighbors walking their dog, and both the humans and the dogs were highlighted in red because it's not just
alert.
Right, it's not just night vision that lets you see in the dark, but it's kind of like this thermal infrared thing that's it's like predator vision, It lets you see.
Predator vision, just without the noise.
Yeah, it lets you see.
And death.
Yeah, right. It lets you see humans and animals.
Yes.
Make sure you're not hitting them, which is very helpful.
That's good. Yes. So it has all the tech. I mean,
Yeah.
dynamic body control. What is it called? Dynamic Magic Carpet Ride.
Yeah.
Mercedes is good at coming up with these names. We have
Yeah.
Magic Sky Control.
There's I think dynamic curve control or something.
I think that's where it leans into turns and stuff.
Right. It uses the GPS to kind of anticipate curves ahead of you, and then it kind of preloads the suspension so the car leans into a turn. Yeah, it's very cool.
It uses the camera out front to detect bumps or holes or things like that to allow the air suspension to prepare.
Yeah.
It's all this tech to essentially make the outside world disappear.
Yeah.
A lot of tech. But wait, this is a 2018 year or 2016?
16,
2016 model year. Okay.
So you do see some of the I think, starting 18 and newer, they have that new Panamericana grill. With the vertical slats.
The new headlights.
I think they might have updated the tech. I'm not sure. This thing does not have. So they probably did, because this thing does not have CarPlay, and my wife's 18 GLA does have CarPlay.
Yes.
So I think it is running older Mercedes tech,
Mm-hmm.
which honestly, newer Mercedes tech sucks too, so it doesn't really matter too much.
Okay, we talked about the tech, the isolation.
Yeah.
Like, what about this do you love? Like,
the comfort.
The
you know,
comfort.
the suspension is not. We're driving over not bad pavement, but you're not getting beat up at all. You feel very refreshed.
the utmost level of comfort and
Right.
everything.
And sometimes you want to just be like, let me just isolate myself from the world a little bit. Let me sit in complete comfort. We're like right now, we're getting a massage, getting our seats cooled. We're talking, having a nice conversation. If I didn't want to talk to you, I could put on the radio, put on a podcast, and
The Burmeister sound system would be fantastic.
The high-end sound system.
Yeah, there's our speakers everywhere. Like, there's one by the little seatbelt holder thing.
Mm-hmm. It's very pretty. They're very pretty speaker grills. There's laser drilled aluminum.
You know, what I find really interesting, and that's the whole point, right? S-Class, from what I understand, Mercedes allows their teams to just develop, and it's supposed to be the benchmark, testing next-gen everything.
Yeah.
And over time, that then trickles down to everything else. So, like, the double wide screens like this, I think the first time I saw that was in an S-Class sedan.
Yeah.
And now everything from a Kia to whatever has this type of layout. The metal speaker grills, the little drilled metal holes, was an S-Class thing. And now it's trickled out to everything. You get that in a C-Class, right? Like, it's everything has it, even if it doesn't have the crazy high-end sound system. And that's what this feels like.
So
the pinnacle.
I haven't been in S-Class sedans. This has a different dash layout?
It does have a different,
It
swoopies a little bit more.
Yeah, what do they call it? Cascading, waterfall. What's the?
I don't know.
But this also has carbon fiber, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
It takes a car from 4,950 pounds down to 4,949 pounds.
Like, I don't get it. It's like, I know carbon fiber now is like synonymous with sporty, but like, really?
I really want to. Okay, the one thing I wish it had those kind of pinstripe, like piano black with the pinstripe on it.
The metal inlay.
Yeah,
in the wood. That is an option.
That's one. That's what I want. But aside from that, this has pretty much everything else I want.
Everything else you wanted. Is there anything you don't like about the car? What do you hate about your S65 AMG?
Okay, so we talked about kind of the isolation. I like most of the isolation. I don't feel the harshness of the road. This double laminated glass. I don't hear any noise. Okay, I do want some noise. Mainly, I want but that's me being stereotypical me. I like more exhaust noise. I like that V12 to open up a little bit.
Okay,
and it
is very quiet.
Yeah, we talked about the nature of this V12. It's not a Ferrari or a Lambo V12. It doesn't scream. It's more like a Aston Martin V12, right? This it has like a bark and growl and rumble to it. I want to hear more of it.
Okay.
I want the exhaust note to open up a little.
With a lot more aggressive exhaust on this,
look at that.
It could possibly sound like a wire. What are we looking at?
The blue.
Oh, the C8, yes. Anyways, the exhaust, it is very quiet. Very quiet. But that's the point of it. Like, if you drive a Bentley Continental GT W12 or a Rolls-Royce Wraith, they are not very pronounced.
Right.
I mean, the Rolls-Royce doesn't even give you a tachometer. Like, you don't know what engine speed it's turning at. You're not supposed to.
Yeah. Well, I wish it could be more like an Aston Martin, where if you look at kind of luxury and performance, where Aston kind of sits in the middle of those two spectrums, and and they give you a little bit more exhaust note, a little more sound to go with. And the ride is good. The ride is comfortable. So I wish I had more of a kind of Aston type exhaust note, because I think it's the same kind of V12. It's a very lazy V12. Revs to 6, and it doesn't.
Just over 6.
Just over 6. And it doesn't do it in any hurry fashion. This is not a car that you want to win the 0 to 60 drag race in.
That actually brings up a very, very good point, because if you're concerned about 0 to 60 time, the S63 in both iterations is way faster.
Yes, because it's got all-wheel
drive. Even though it makes less power, it will walk this.
Right.
All right, so which one do we press?
This one up front.
Do we just... Whoa!
Yeah, just press it once.
Yeah. So only 2 modes, or are there multiple modes?
2 modes. Dark.
That's so
dark
cool.
And clear,
So this has the full glass roof that like darkens it out completely. It's like a bluish tinge, but
it's a very dark blue.
Yeah. And then immediately, it's all.
Yeah, I can't explain the technology, but the best
magic.
I understand.
It's in the name, Magic Sky Control.
Abracadabra. There you go.
We now have control of the sky.
Yeah.
That's cool. Total different personality from the S-Class sedans, but 65, the V12. What kind of fuel economy are we getting?
That's a good question. Let's take a
Probably
look.
not great.
Let's take a peek.
621 horsepower and 738 pound-feet of torque.
All right, keep in mind, I haven't been driving this like a crazy person at all. You know, I've been kind of driving it commensurate with the...
Responsibly?
Well, I was going to say the nature of the V12,
Okay.
which I constantly describe as lazy, but I think
Yeah.
it's... Okay, so 11.7.
On this drive, we've done 22 miles, 11.7. Okay.
Yeah, 11.7. And I've been letting the engine sit at very, you know, we're in what gear? 7th gear. We're barely turning over $1,000 on the tack, and we're averaging 11.7.
So that's the thing. Like, obviously, this is a $250,000 car, so all the costs associated are still high.
Yeah.
Maintenance, like, this doesn't have carbon ceramics, right?
No.
If this had carbon ceramics, even actually the steels, I think, are like $7,000 for parts.
Ouch.
For the AMG, S-Class AMG ones. Because my friend had to do them on his S63.
Ooh.
And there were $7,000 for parts, steels.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and then obviously anything else, like everything will be expensive.
Yeah.
You're mentally prepared for that, right?
Well, as a McLaren owner, I feel like any high dollar AMG item you can show me, I would be like, oh, that's not so bad. That's not so bad.
True. Okay, so you've been beaten into submission by the McLaren cost. So you're like, oh, okay, everything is better in comparison.
Correct. Yeah.
So there's some valuable consumer advice. If you're worried about the cost of an S65 AMG, just go buy a McLaren and you'll feel better.
Right. It's kind of like when you're a kid and you're complaining to your dad, Dad, it's cold in here. He'll make you step outside for 10 minutes and you come back in and the house seems perfectly warm, doesn't it?
So that was a really fun chat on the new S65 AMG. I'm going to take it for a review now. Oh, not new to you.
Right.
S65 AMG. Depreciation is just
insane.
Unbelievable.
Holy depreciation.
Holy depreciation. Good deal, though. I thought the depreciation on my A8 was bad. This is a next tier. But good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. Yeah, goodbye. Well, there we go. I'm going to take it now for my review of the S65 AMG. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.
All right. We'll see you next time.
When you buy another car another week, probably.
Probably.